All right, you are welcome to Module 2, Post 111 class. The other time we considered the first module. Today we'll be looking at the second module, which is titled The Discipline of Political Science as a Social Science Course. As a way of introduction, of course, in the last class, we tried to define what is politics, but we'll just have a recap of what we discussed in the last class. We clearly established that politics is ubiquitous. However, it exists somewhere. Okay, we say politics is everywhere, but the one we are focusing in this course exists somewhere. So we say politics exists either in a political system, that's the politics we study now in school, okay, in this course. It exists in the political system, government, or international system, and these two provides the arena and subject matter of political science. Now you can, or you will also recall that the study of politics is as old as history, okay, of mankind. So we, of course, in the last class also established that the discipline of political science is as old as the history of mankind. But the discipline of political science, specializes in the systematic study of politics. Okay, that is what is actually new. The systematic study of politics is new. However, politics is as old as a human being. Political science emerged in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, okay, trying to date the history, okay, of political science. Actually, it emerged or began at the late 19th and early 20th century. Now, let's look at the objective that we want to achieve in this class is to examine the growth and studies and status, sorry, the growth and status of political science as a distinct discipline in relation to the larger family, which is the social sciences. Okay, so we want to look at political science vis-a-vis the larger family known as the social sciences. So we are expected as a student to explain why political science is a social science. That's by the end of this class. Explain why the social sciences freely borrow from each other, and then explain what distinguishes political science from other social sciences. Now, let's look at precisely the discipline of political science. Political science is an academic discipline usually located in faculties of the social sciences and humanities, okay, depending the school. In some other school, it could be located in the faculty of humanities, and in some others like ours, okay, it is located in the faculty of the social sciences. And then it's specialized in the systematic study and analysis of politics. Before the advent of political science, politics was studied as part of philosophy, history, and law, okay, which is regarded today as the era of traditional political science without much science. So, under this tradition, okay, when politics was studied under philosophy, history, and law, that is subsequently before the emergence of political science as a discipline. Politics was actually studied under this older discipline, philosophy, history, and law. However, it was studied without much science attached to it. Till today, of course, politics continue to be studied within, law, philosophy, and history. Okay, but today we have also politics studied in some sister disciplines like economics, sociology, psychology, and geography. And these are the courses that actually, or the discipline that constitute the social sciences. Okay, it's actually the aggregate of all of these disciplines that constitute the social science faculty. It's also studied in behavioral sciences, including medicine, however. Okay, now because politics is ubiquitous and power relations and governance are central to human endeavors in all sectors, politics is of interest to all disciplines. You get that? Because of the nature of politics, okay? Because we have established that it is ubiquitous, it is everywhere. And so you can also find politics, okay, in every other discipline. However, political science is the master discipline. This was established in the last class. Okay, let me raise a question here. Did political science meet the requirement needed to be a discipline? Okay, somebody may ask, okay, or you may want to ask, okay, political science as a standalone discipline, does it has the requirement or meet the requirement to stand as a discipline? I think the answer, okay, is a big yes. The answer is a big yes. Now, political science satisfies all the ingredients or elements necessary for it to be a discipline. Okay, this was actually supported by Roseman et al. 1966. Okay, so as early as 1966, Roseman and his colleague established that political science satisfy all the ingredients necessary for a discipline. Okay, so let's move ahead. Let's look at now this requirement or this condition, conditions that political science has satisfied as a discipline. One, political science is a disciplinary, self-conscious discipline. Okay, is self-conscious. What does this mean? It suggests that political science has what it offers in relation to other discipline. It has its own niche. It has its own point of emphasis when you put it side by side with other disciplines. Okay. Now we will look at that in context as we make progress. Requirement two: political science has its own classical works and founding fathers such as Plato, Machiavelli, who wrote the Prince, okay? Plato, who wrote the Plato Republic, Machiavelli, who wrote the Prince, Thomas Hobbes, who wrote the Leviathan, and Karl Marx, who also wrote the Communist Manifesto. And these are classical philosophers and classical works, okay, that define the core of political science. Requirement three: political science has its own concepts and technical vocabulary, such as, okay, power, conflict, decision making, institution, governance, citizenship, democracy, and so on and so forth. Now, these are distinct core concepts that are specific to the discipline of political science. Requirement number four: political science has a clearly differentiated subject matter. Okay? A clearly differentiated subject matter. Political science is concerned about power, society, the state, how is the society organized, how power is transit or changes occurred, leadership change occurred from one government to another or from one leader to another. Okay, now these are the core subject matter of the discipline of political science. Okay, requirement number five: political science has specialized subfields, okay, a body of generalizations and theories and standardized method of analysis. So one, under this, political science has its own subfields, okay, such as public policy, or public administration, international relations, comparative politics, as we will subsequently see. It has its own uh, generalization and theories. Okay, we have a whole lot of theories in political science: system theory, institutional theory, group theory, games theory. We have a whole lot of that. Okay, and we have our own distinct method of analysis as well. Okay, now these are all the qualifications. Okay, that qualify political science as a distinct discipline. Now let's look at what again Thomas Kuhn, talked about in terms of what he called paradigm shift. So every normal science grows on the basis of paradigm shift that come with the overthrow of dominant paradigm that lose their explanatory capacities, mostly due to changing realities and knowledge, and their replacement by new paradigm, what we call approach. Okay, yeah, political science has emerged from one paradigm to another. um, from the classical normative traditional approach, it has transcended or moved to what we call descriptive institutional approach or paradigm, and then move to what we also call today the behavioral paradigm. Okay, the scientific or positivist paradigm, depending on the literature you find it. Okay. Now let's look at quickly the subfields of political science. Okay, so we have the traditional subfields. We have four of them. The traditional core ones, there are four. One, comparative politics. Two, international relations or politics. And then three, public administration. And then the last one is political theory. However, okay, we have some micro specialist subfield. Okay, we have other subfields under these four, like governance, polymetrics, policy analysis, legislative studies, electoral studies, political sociology, political economy, political history, political anthropology, political geography, and psychopolitics. Now, all of these are specialization um, in political science. So they will have a gamut of them, a whole lot of them that you can choose where you will, as an incoming political scientist, where you can specialize. Okay, now political science as a social science discipline. Okay, now the interconnection between political science and the social sciences. Now the social sciences is an umbrella concept that cover a whole lot of discipline under it, and one of them is political science. Do you get that? So when we say these social sciences, okay, is an umbrella, concept that cover a few discipline within the family known as the social sciences. All right. Now, politics and political relations do not exist in a vacuum, but are embedded within larger social system that make it almost impossible to explain political occurrences in isolation of more underlining and closely related factors. Now, you see, we are still on the discussion political science as a social science. Now, when you come to the society is a very complex, forum where, excuse me, where you have a whole lot of sectors interacting, okay, interacting together to sustain the system, the social system or the society, which is our own, concern. So politics is one, and then you have other sector or subsystem within that system. Okay, you have other system within, subsystem within that system. So let's go. So politics is the most important factor in the integrating dimension of society, the subsystem through which the other dimensions of human activity are merged. Okay, in the first class, we try to establish that politics is the master science. Okay, political science is a master science where every other sector is subsumed Okay, that's the emphasis here again, is still coming up. So politics is not the only dimension in a society. You have other dimension of a society. Politics is just one, but politics is the core, because every other dimension of the society is subsumed or merged under politics. So politics is decisive, okay? And so we call it a master science. Now, all social sciences share the same interest of study, okay. Okay, interest of studying, analyzing, and explaining human behavior in in a society, and therefore belongs together. Now look at actually what brought all of these disciplines under the social sciences faculty together. It is because they share, similar interests in terms of studying, analyzing, and explaining human behavior in the society. Very key and important. All of them tend to, explain human behavior in the society. And so we classify them as, a single family known as courses within the social sciences. Now, however, each social science discipline specializes in the study of one domain or dimension or subsystem of the social system. Do you get that? Now, each social science discipline specializes in the study of a particularistic domain, okay? A particular domain within the social system. So, for instance, economics, okay, deals with the economic subsystem. So everything that is economic in nature, okay, is studied under the economics. Are you getting that? Okay, yeah. So the trade, transaction, how to create wealth, how a society can prosper economically, all of these happen under the economic subsystem. Then let's move anthropology. So anthropology is concerned with the relationship between culture and social relations. Okay, so when you go to anthropology, they concentrate on the study of culture and how this culture, relates to the social system and other sub-social system and other culture, how this culture interact to sustain the society. Sociology deals with social subsystem as well, okay. Yeah, anthropology culture, but sociology now social subsystem, okay. Now all that is social, religion and all of that, okay, family, all that is happening within those subsectors, okay, they are studied under what is known as sociology, or the discipline sociology. Psychology deals with the effect of personality on social relations, okay? Personality, individual, our psyche, okay? How it interact, how it relates with others within the social context. Now, human geography deals with how the environment conditions human behavior, okay? That's geography for you. How the environment, interact with human behavior. Then, political science, the master science, deals with relationships of power, authority, state, and governance. Do you get that? And that's why we say that political science is a master science, because it houses all of this other, sub discipline within the social sciences. Okay, so specifically, political science deal with the relationship of power. Okay, who get what, how, and when. You remember that definition given by Harold Laswell. Okay, so deals with authority, the state itself, the state, the survival of the state. How is the state organized? Okay, how is stability ensured, and all of that. How are conflict resolved within the state? Okay, yeah, international relations, how one state relates to another. All of that come under the study of political science. And lastly, governance. So there is nexus. What is now the point of convergence between political science and other social science discipline? Now we have two core or two important points of convergence. One is human behavior. Okay, all of them study human behavior, including political science. Okay, but the dimension of the study now differ. Okay, while political science concentrate on the political dimension of human behavior, sociology concentrate on the social dimension of human behavior, psychology concentrate on the cycle, okay, of the human behavior, and so on and so forth. Now, the second aspect is the scientific method. That's another point of convergence. All of them tend to deploy the scientific method in studying, okay, their subject matter. You get that point. And that is why political science is a science, okay, it's a scientific course. Sociology is a scientific course. Economics can also be studied scientifically. Geography can be also studied, scientifically. The deployment of scientific method. So these two point of convergence actually bring all of these disciplines together under one umbrella known as, the social science. The scientific method is more encompassing. However, there are several problems that beset its feasibility in the study of human behavior. Okay, looking at the limitations now of the scientific method in the study of the human behavior within the family of the social science. Now, it is important to stress that the structure of scientific explanation also help to differentiate political science from other social sciences. Okay, still looking at the relationship of, between political science, and other social science discipline. Now, the explanation that we give, okay, the kind of method we adopt in political science to study our subject matter, okay, can differ, or most time differ, from other disciplines within the social sciences. Of course, you remember when we were talking about the conditions that political science met to be qualified as a discipline. One of those conditions we looked at was that political science has its own specialized method of study. Okay. Okay. In conclusion, you can now explain why political science is a social science. You can discuss why the social sciences borrow from each other. Okay, yeah. You can explain what distinguishes political science from other social science discipline. Okay, in the present time, we favor interdisciplinary, kind of research, where you have expert scholars from sociology, economics, geography, psychology, political science coming together to engage a study, or to carry out a study to explain a social phenomenon. So the political scientist will look at it from his own dimension. Economics, we look at it from economic dimension. Sociology will look at that particular thing we're studying from social dimension, and then you have a robust and a better outcome. Okay, so we continue to enjoy this synergy within the spectrum of the social sciences. Okay, so thank you for listening. You have your question, please drop your question as usual, and we'll do well to attend to it. Bye.